What is up, everybody? Sammy33 coming back for another video in the Hot Tag series. So today, this will be another video requested by a Graveyard community member, Coreynba, cashing in those salt points. Today, we talk about the top 5 WrestleMania matches of all time. I'm going to list the 5. I can tell you directly what number 1 is, because I'm pretty much alluded to it or just said it directly in the last stream that it was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. If you want more details on why, check out that video, catch the end of it, the last couple of minutes. Cliff notes, ring psychology was great, damn near perfect match, only 2 things that were awkward, the launch over the top rope and the tornado DDT. Undertaker's head didn't hit, but outside of that, perfect. Crowd interaction was great, back and forth, near falls, everything was perfect. The match stole the show. So for this, got 5 matches. I wanted to try to keep certain people out of it multiple times because I wanted to kind of spread the love out some, but I can't help it. Obviously Shawn Michaels is going to pop up multiple times. He's Mr. WrestleMania. But outside of that, I'm going to try to keep it to 5. I did want to mention 3 matches that I had, or 2 matches that I had for that were very, very close to being added consolation. I just not going to spend a lot of time on them. You definitely could check them out. One is Jericho and HBK. Another match that was not a main event. Definitely Jericho's best WrestleMania match. He's had some good ones, but that one was definitely his best. And, Michaels goes over, but it was a great, great match. To me, the best match of that WrestleMania. I'll add 3. Also, I'll add Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. I understand you had the botch at the end with the moonsault falling short. Brock gets a concussion, but as someone who is a wrestler, it was great to see 2 guys that did their beginnings were in collegiate high school wrestling, and they are able to come over to the WWE, which is vastly different, and still be able to have success, but still be able to take elements of what they were able to do and bring it over, and also kind of pave the way for guys coming in the future. The Dolph Zigglers, the Charlie Hosses, Shelton Benjamins, those guys, I feel like they were able to have more fulfilling, successful careers because of the path paved by Angle and Lesnar and the success that they had. And for them to main event of Mania was really, really awesome. And then the last one that I wanted to add in was TLC. You guys know it was not the first TLC with Edge, Christian, Hardys, and Dudleys. That one I believe was at SummerSlam, but the second one stole the show. Great, great match. Established TLC as a big match in the WWE's umbrella. We have a pay-per-view named after it now, and those guys just tore the house down. And now, we have Money in the Bank kind of somewhat bred off of that with the ladders. Like, they did an excellent job. If I'm not a big guy into a lot of stunts and stuff like that, 'cause you can kind of look at some of those matches that way, but man, that is a damn good match. And it was one of those matches that I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I actually saw that before I saw the SummerSlam TLC, so we have that. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk WrestleMania. So I just want to give a shout out to those 3. Those are the consolation ones, and then we'll jump into the other 4. Shall we begin? Number 5, WrestleMania 12, Bret Hart and HBK, the Iron Man match. So Bret Hart again getting, Shawn Michaels again getting a shot at the championship. This time he does win. So this is gonna go. I'm gonna have to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. Before you had this Iron Man match at WrestleMania, you had promotions. Like, wrestling used to be promotions in different territories, like Northeast, Midwest, Southeast, west of Southeast. Like, it's still Southeast region, but just like separate areas. And you would travel from promotion to promotion. But one of the things that they used to do is have quote unquote Iron Man matches. I don't think they were called that at the time, which is why I put it in quotes, but you would wrestle 30 minutes and basically wrestle to a draw. So it'd be, hey, our promotion is, our champion is defending the title against someone from a different promotion. The title doesn't change hands because it ends in a draw, but they're able to go on for 30 minutes, put on a great match, and boom. You use that timer at the end to help with making a exciting finish. Um, Ric Flair and others were known to have done those. It's pretty awesome because you have to think about it. To be able to go in the ring for that long, 30 minutes is a long time. You guys may not know that. You see a lot of matches these days are around somewhere around 8 to 12 minutes, some going 15, 20. That's considered really, really long these days. That's tough. Stamina, endurance, being able to perform well at the end, not botching moves, working on protecting yourself and your opponent more, most important for sure. But it's tough. It requires a lot of energy and a lot of communication. So what you have in this is an hour. It hasn't been done very often. It's been done since, but to me, no one did it better than these two. Main event, big stage at Mania, no falls, perfect endings. I felt like they balanced action versus them having those obvious moves, a double suplex, a clothesline, both getting knocked out the ring, missing from the top rope, so you're both laying there, being able to get the rest when needed, but still being able to perform well action wise over the hour, so you don't feel like it's just a lot of stuff was just filler to get them rest. The ending was cool because you had at the end of the 60 minutes, I believe it was like for 2.5 minutes or close to maybe a little bit shorter or longer, but around that time of Michaels being in the sharpshooter and he does not tap. So we assume, man, great match. I already felt it was a great match at that point. It's going to be a draw. Nope. Comes out. It's sudden death for going to overtime. Bret Hart is shocked, like what? Like what the hell? The match continues, and obviously Michaels is weak from being in the sharpshooter for that long. Bret Hart goes right back on the attack, but he's able to turn the tide. He's able to hit that super kick. 1, 2, 3, and there you go. New champion, new era. The new era in the WWE begins. An excellent match, and one thing that I really did like about it is not just that they had a great match. It's also you have to think about the picture of the industry at the time. You have Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, who were not big guys. Now they're not like super super small either. They're not like cruiserweights. They're big within their own right, but they are not. They weren't Diesel. They weren't Sid. Psycho Sid at the time. They weren't the Undertaker. These are guys that don't normally get heavyweight championship reigns because Vince was always bigger, better, it's more attractive. Hey, this was one of those things to show us smaller guys, I guess medium-sized guys, if we're going to go that way, we can put on good performances in the ring while still doing all the other stuff that you need us to do. It's aesthetically pleasing to watch these guys wrestle because they flow so well together. Doesn't have to be big, slow, dominant. So, congratulations on those guys for pulling out a good match. Super, super awesome. Um, of course, that happens right when I'm trying to pull up the list. So give me one sec here. So we've got that at number 5. Number 4. Gonna stay with Bret Hart. The only other guy to pop up twice on my list. WrestleMania 10, 2 years before, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. So if you guys know Bret Hart, older brother, Owen Hart, younger brother, trained Stu Hart's Dungeon. Everyone knows that, well documented, really, really popular, famous. Some great wrestlers came out of there. Brother versus brother is always an interesting thing because there's different things you can do with the dynamic. We've seen it in other feuds in wrestling, but these guys, the thing that makes this special is because you knew how talented Owen Hart was. It always felt like no matter how great he was, you recognize it, but it was always, but Brett's better. Great tag team action, with Owen Hart and British Bulldog, but Brett did it just a little bit better with Neidhart. Owen Hart mid-card guy, puts on great matches, but Brett's were just a little bit better. And obviously Brett, top of the mountain guy. So it was cool to see them kick off a WrestleMania, and it worked out really well. It kind of, I was kind of concerned that me thinking at the time as a kid, I was a big Bret Hart fan. So him losing was kind of jarring. But as I have went back and watched it multiple times, I've gotten older. What it really was is they both were able to shine in that match. They both looked good. The pacing was good. The ring psychology, as always in a Bret Hart match, was great. But Owen going over in the way that he did, fairly clean, so it's not like he, no chairs or anything like that. Being able to get the one up on his brother is huge because it kind of pushed him up the card and he was able to get more recognition for his talent and had a nice, give him a nice bump and he had a nice career, but it didn't affect Brett because Brett, obviously, I said he wrestled and defended the WWF Championship 2 years later at WrestleMania. So it just made both of them look good. And the things that you want and when you have matches like that is for both guys to go their separate ways and to both benefit from it, and they both did. Brett gets pushed up. Owen also gets pushed up. They're both able to have success. One as a face, one as a heel. Everything works out great. It was a really, really good match. If you haven't seen that match, I definitely recommend checking it out. That's how you start out a WrestleMania. Doesn't get any better than that. One of the best opening matches of all time. One of the best all time, period. Number 3. This was debatable. 3 and 2 were hard for me. This match, a lot of people say is the best WrestleMania match of all time. WrestleMania 3, not even the main event. Macho Man Intercontinental title defense versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This was a big match. Steamboat and Flair. When I talked about those quote unquote Iron Man matches, Steamboat and Flair had a lot of those. Like their chemistry in the ring is unparalleled. They may have the best A versus B chemistry I've ever seen in wrestling. Amazing, amazing matches. This was huge because every time you think of WrestleMania 3, if you say someone WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome, what do you think of? You think of Andre the Giant getting body slammed by Hogan. That's the moment you get from WrestleMania, but the match of the night is not even close. It was this match, Macho Man versus Steamboat, back and forth, a quick pace match. Shenanigans at the end. I think it was George the Animal Steel interfering that ended up costing Macho Man the match. And there you go. Steamboat, your new Intercontinental Champion. It was big for a couple things. One, again, smaller guys. While Macho Man ended up becoming a main event guy later on, you can point to this match and say this was what started that. Him going in the ring with Steamboat and showing that he could go, 20 minutes with this dude and put on an excellent match that had the crowd captivated from beginning to end, launched his career just on a rocket going up to the main event. Steamboat had a solid career too, but this match is amazing. It is one of my favorite matches of all time, regardless of WrestleMania or not. I watch this match at least twice a year. Every year when we get going into WrestleMania season, I'll watch it. And then just randomly throughout the year, I'll just I just feel like watching, this match or this match. Arguably, it's arguably Steamboat's best match ever. There's matches with Flair that I would say might top it because of their chemistry, but on the stage, I'd make an argument that it's his best match ever. Macho Man, like I said, it launched his career, ended up becoming a champion, a mainstay, the Mega Powers. He had a great, great career, and to me, this was the match, the defining match for him. It wasn't winning the Intercontinental Championship. It was having this match and showing what he can do in the ring that gave him those opportunities. So, man, that match just gives me goosebumps thinking about it. The commentary was great on it, too. Everything about it was perfect. And then the last match that I'm going to cover in this video, because I don't have to cover number 1, number 2. Again, HBK shows up, but it's not what you think. A lot of people think it's the ladder match with Razor Ramon. Well, I like that match a lot. Great match. That's not it. Shawn Michaels and HBK. Or, I'm sorry, Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle. Don't want to repeat Shawn. I mean, I like him a lot, but sure, if he wrestled himself, it'd be a great match too. Kurt Angle. This was not a main event match. Again, this was a match to me that stole the show. And I always like there's some guys you wonder, and this is what I like about WrestleMania, because you get those matchups that you don't see throughout the year. Those fantasy matchups. It's like, man, I wonder what a match with X versus Y would look like. I don't necessarily care who wins. I just want to see how they interact in the ring, and it was perfect. Kurt Angle, cocky and arrogant because obviously he is a wrestler, so he's got the ground game. Out wrestled on the ground by Shawn Michaels. Catch as catch can style. Then it makes Angle have to change his game plan. I'm getting outworked on the ground by someone who is not a ground guy. It's frustrating. So it kind of had a slow start to the match because then it just built up the anger for Angle, and then you just have boom. It's like a switch is flipped. Dude is just uber aggressive, and it becomes a brawl. Then the pace picks up. Then you have the back and forth. Then you have the false finishes. And then it ends with him being put in the ankle lock. Michaels can't get to the ropes. Is literally just like lunging out in literally every direction, trying to turn and just dive for the ropes. Can't get there. And then eventually Angle takes it to the ground, crosses the legs, locks it in, and HBK, like, he played it out good, got the crowd really into it, but he had the tap. And I remember that was one of those matches I got up and like I stood up and clapped after. I mean, the feud continued after, but that was the first match in the feud, and let me tell you, that was a damn good match. Again, Shawn Michaels, you put him in the ring with anyone and it looks awesome, but you put him in the ring with a guy at the time who was also great in the ring, and Kurt Angle, to me, is one of the greatest technicians in the pro wrestling industry ever. They're both relatively in their primes having that match. Ooh, such a good match. It's tough for me to put that behind Taker and Michaels, but man, that match was really, really good. I always thought, like, man, comparing that to Steamboat and Macho Man, that match was great too. But watching Angle and HBK, is the thing that really puts it over for me, is because Angle is a wrestler, and the way that they played it in the psychology of showing that Michaels did his homework. Something we talk about in the wrestling industry a lot with commentary. Does the homework. You're prepared how to counter this move. You're prepared how to counter that move. You know how to work in being able to hit your move, even though you know the other guy's prepared for it. Little things like that. The commentary helps sell it too. But the way that match started really just made me smile, because we all know Kurt Angle's he won an Olympic gold medal. We know he's one of the best mat guys in the world. And being able to be outsmarted at his own game, playing towards his cockiness allowing him to be hit by a super kick. Little things like that, they're subtle, but when you watch that in a match, if you're looking for it, it makes you smile, because you feel it helps bring you in, and to me, it makes it seem that they are doing their job in building a match to captivate the audience, and I really like that. So for now, still end up going about the same amount of time, but that's okay. I didn't want to mention those other three matches. We'll hit up this weekend. Strikeout asked for a very interesting video. I think I'd like to take some time to talk about exactly how matches are built, at least from my perspective, for myself and for others. But thanks for watching. We'll continue that later at some point. I do have another wrestling video that needs to go up. That said, have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys later.